information with me. Thank you, Chair. Honourable Malema won't be joining us today. He's on organisational deployment.
Yes.
So he does send his apology, but the EFF is represented in the form of
When we saw the jacket,
Honourable Matais.
when we saw the jacket there hanging on the chair, we did not understand whether it's a magic or.
Let me put it on.
Yeah, because I have heard stories of jackets that can speak. Eh?
Oh, yeah.
So we kept on saying good morning, hoping that
the jacket was going to talk. No, we didn't put any intelligence services in this jacket today, Chair.
Okay. Honourable James, any apologies?
None, Chair.
Okay. Thank you so much. There is one of our workaholic staff members who will not join us today, Mr. Andile Tejana, who is leading or representing the Parliamentary Legal Service in this committee. All the work, the major thrust of the work that has to do with legal services in this committee is done by him. And members would remember that yesterday there are decisions that have been taken which will require his attention. And the reason why he's not here today is because he has to make sure that all the decisions that were taken in yesterday's meeting are implemented. We want to wish him well. It's not going to be an easy task for him, but we hope that within the agreed deadlines, whatever work we have said must be done will be implemented. This is the beginning of the 4th week. Honourable Skosana, since the beginning of this year, committee members reporting here. I want to thank you so much, honourable members, for the work that we have done in the last 3 weeks, coming here every day. And we are now in our 4th week. We have taken decisions yesterday, Honourable Sols, to identify further witnesses. And we have to make sure that that work happens between now and the 20th of February. The condonations that we have made, which includes those submissions that the committee has accepted from yourself, Honourable Sols, have to be incorporated in the program of the committee, including the inclusion of General Vuma and Ms. Sarah Jane Trent as witnesses on top of the list that includes Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, Mr. Brown Mokhozi, General Khomutso Phatlane, Honorable Diane Kolabanat, and Honorable Adams. Those are the witnesses that the committee has confirmed, which should be scheduled in the coming weeks, and that General Mkhwanazi must also be invited back here on the last day of appearances. So we were looking ahead for very torrid times, especially that now the clock is ticking against us. And we hope that the Secretariat and the legal team will find enough time to schedule those appearances and make sure that consultations are done accordingly. Yesterday, we have also taken a decision that we should write to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa. And we mandated the legal team to go and develop a draft. And when we concluded the meeting, we advised members of the committee to forward the questions that they have to the legal team, so that the legal team, when it consolidates the draft, it must take all those inputs, or it must incorporate all those inputs that committee members would have forwarded. And the procedure is that once the draft is concluded, it will be circulated back to the committee members to satisfy themselves that the questions contained in the letter represent what they want to raise with the office of the president. And then I will also want to make a request that if there are any outstanding matters that members of the committee will want us to forward to respective institutions, members of the committee can also use this opportunity to forward those matters, and we write letters, whether it's a letter to the SAPS or a letter to IDEC or a letter to the NPA or anywhere or any of the institutions that fall within our terms of reference. Let's make sure that all those questions are forwarded and we write to those respective institutions. The latest that we can give is the end of business today, and exercising the benevolence of the chair, it will be end of business tomorrow. Yes, all submissions must be made by end of business today. However, exercising the benevolence of the chair, those that will not be able to submit today can submit by end of business tomorrow. Honorable James?
I'm also saying amen, Chair.
Yeah, the deadline is not tomorrow, the deadline is today. But because the chair is benevolent, those who miss today's deadline can submit by end of business tomorrow, so that we have these responses within reasonable time before the committee's term of office ends. Honorable Matthews.
Chair, now I was just going to tease you about lastminute.com. So the deadline is technically tomorrow. It is last minute, Chair. We've been sitting here for like 3 months worth of testimony. So I know as the economic freedom fighters, we'll just need to clean up our spreadsheet, but I would be able to submit something by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Noting your lastminute.com deadlines. Thank you.
And I'm saying that not only matters that we raise to the office of the president, any other matter. Remember, there were other matters that we raised to say we want an explanation as to how a consignment can be transported from KwaZulu-Natal to Soweto. And we are told that such officers are still at work even today. So those are matters that have to be explained as to what action has been taken and what action has not been taken, including what General Khumalo has said here, and what Advocate Batoyi has said, that in most high-profile cases, it is common that in the SAPS, it happens that you have parallel investigative teams. And we must get explanations as to how that has been allowed to happen, and even to recur, that people take their interest into the work of the SAPS and express them in parallel investigation. So I'm just giving an example of such matters that members may have interest, and let's have those letters, including the case of Jerry Bushoka. We said we want to get a progress report on how far that matter has gone. The referrals that IDEC spoke about, including the charge sheet. Honorable Skosan.
Thank you, Chair. I don't see the witness here, but I just wanted to say to you, before you start, I just wanted to ask for your benevolence once again to say what happened last week should never happen again. In a sense that, you know, when you recognize us, is at your discretion. That if there's a point of order, because I remember you addressed us here to say we are not going to take point of order whilst there's someone speaking. That was an agreement here. Now, last week, you know, what happened, you know, we've been accused outside that, you know, we degenerated into a kindergarten kind of a scenario. So I'm just asking as well for you to lead us, you know, that does not happen again, because that exchange between yourself and our team is not healthy, and it doesn't give this Ad Hoc Committee a good image outside there. Yeah. So we have to listen to you, and even if we are not happy, we'll complain later. But we can't be doing that in front of millions of people who are with this Ad Hoc Committee. Okay. And my last parting short, Chair, yesterday because there's no witness, I'll just drop one. You know,
don't say there is no witness, because I'm still coming to explain.
Oh, okay.
And if you could allow me to explain to members, so that members must not think that there is no witness. Members would know that when we announced yesterday, we said that there were two witnesses for security reasons who wished to be titled as anonymous. They are here, and they have said to us that when the proceedings start, they will come into the chambers and introduce themselves formally. So Mr. Ramano is just handling that outside. Those witnesses will be coming here. We're going to start with them. The witnesses are here. Honorable Skosan, you can conclude your point.
And my point, Chair, was that
just to say to you that the senior counsel will lead evidence with the first witness, and the second witness is allocated to Advocate Mkhwanazi. Good morning, Advocate Mkhwanazi, and welcome.
Yeah, my last one was that as we were having our own meeting, or the witnesses here already, it's unfortunate that Advocate Mkhwepi and Advocate Mukotedi could not come and give us the meat, you know, of the NPA and the Hawks, which is very, very unfortunate, you know. But unfortunately, because of time, I hope that justice will be seen to be done, because those witnesses were supposed to be part and parcel of this Ad Hoc Committee. I'm not sure what happened to the Secretariat, but indeed, we have missed an opportunity to know exactly what is happening in the justice system of this country. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Sols.
Chairperson, I must just be very clear for the record that MK does not prescribe to me how I must behave here. Secondly, I'm not here for likes and claps and how the public views me. I will continue to interrogate based on the evidence before me because I haven't chosen a side. So I must just be very clear about that. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, honorable members. Let me say this to you. I have listened to you, Honorable Skosana and Honorable James. And I remember the Honorable Sols. Yeah. Don't worry when I mention your names. It means you are forever in my thoughts and in my prayers. So thank you so much. So, Honorable Skosana and Honorable Sols, you know, I listened to you, honorable members, yesterday when we closed our meeting, which ended around 16 hours. And I was so impressed when you committed yourselves to foundational principles that guide the work of this committee. Principles of integrity, principles of consistency, and everything. I was so impressed, and you would even remember the remarks that I made that I always look forward to committee meetings because every time we come out of the meeting, you are a better person. And let's continue every day to build one another. Let's continue to enrich the character and the conduct of each one of us. And that is what is going to make us better leaders that the Republic deserves. This Republic deserves the best. And I can tell you, it has produced great men and women who tried by every means to realize the aspirations of the ordinary man and woman on the streets. And if we come to a meeting of this committee where South Africans watch us every day and do our best, I can tell you we will set a very good example for this country. I want to wish you all of the best in today's proceedings and hope that the other proceedings which we are going to have during this week and the coming weeks will demonstrate that indeed we can live up to the standard of expectations of our people. No, let me explain something first. Advocate Arendse, I'm told that the witness that is here is Mr. Mashukuca, is Mashukuca. And that you are a former intelligence services official or SSA.
Yes, Chairperson.
Yes. And that you have not been given a permission or a certificate to come and testify here. Is that correct?
I also did not ask for it. I'm not aware that I need a certificate.
Okay. Advocate Arendse.
Honorable Chair, honorable members. Chair, we had unfortunately Mr. Romano hasn't coordinated with us. I was going to start with the anonymous
Yeah,
witness.
that witness is coming now.
So if with your leave and that of the committee, if we could start with that witness.
Yeah.
Followed by my colleague dealing with Ms. Mashale, and then with Mr. Dotyeni, and then to deal with Mr. Mashukuca. There is an issue that I've raised with you, which relates to whether or not he had sought the consent of the Director General of SSA to give evidence before us. I was called about it this morning and I conveyed it to you. And we are expecting a letter from them, which I will table with you, and you can deal with it with respect with the committee and make a call on whether he should nevertheless be called.
Yeah.
So with your leave, if we could, for the time being, stand down Mr. Mashukuca and call the anonymous witness, and we can then proceed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Are you aware that you must have that certificate?
Chairperson, because I'm no longer a member of that organization, and I'm not aware of any provision of such nature, because I also operate in other capacities since I left that organization. So therefore, that I once worked for that organization does not put my life on hold or mean that I no longer exist. I participate in various forums and structures and activities as a citizen of this country who is concerned about a number of issues. So therefore, largely part of my evidence, even in this committee, it does not arise out of my activities, even when I was with the SSA. It largely arises out of my activities after I left as a citizen of this country. And that's the evidence I'm bringing here, outside of SSA.
No, it's not a problem. What we will do, we will not discuss the matter now. I think we have two witnesses that are going to appear before you. And in the meantime, when we are taking the other two witnesses, the legal team together with the secretariat will sort out every aspect that merits your appearance here. Honorable Skosana.
Yeah, before you started, Chair, I just wanted to close the matter because, as well, you know, I'm very careful, and I'm choosing my word. I said, Honorable Skosana spoke about the issue which happened last. No, not the MKP. He referred us as MKP. I'm the one who raised that issue now, and he has to be called to order, Honorable Sol. It can't be left like that and behave the way he wants to behave. I appeal to you that you gave us, all of us as members here, that we should not, even if there's a point of order. No one says the point of order won't be entertained, but it's at your discretion. Otherwise, if we are doing that, we won't finish this. We won't finish with witnesses. So I'm saying that that's the first disrespect he has done now, as I'm saying to you. You are supposed to say, Honorable Skosana, this not MKK. There's no MKK here.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Sols.
No, I won't comment on that. See, the colors I'm wearing says I'm very happy today. Very, very happy. But I wanted to talk about...
You must be a Manchester United fan.
No, not at all.
Winning 3 games in a row is something unusual in the last 10 years.
Not at all. There's other things in sport that makes me happy. National duty makes me happy.
What?
national duty makes me happy.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't choose to wear black today. What I wanted to comment on, Chair, is I'm a bit disappointed that our witness, Secretariat must have known about our witness coming for some time and what the nature of his submissions is. He should have been advised, not today, but before today. So for him to be told today that he doesn't have, he needs to have this clearance, it should have been advised to him before. In addition to that, I don't think that my view is that it shouldn't stop him from providing testimony, because we should treat our current witness like we did other witnesses before. We had witnesses that was part of intelligence, crime intelligence, that came and testified, and all they would do is give a disclaimer to say that some of the information is classified and they don't have permission to speak on that, so they won't speak on that. So maybe in the same way, we should treat the current witness in the spirit of fairness, in the same way that if there's classified information that he knows about that he didn't have clearance for to open up about, he shouldn't do so, and just tell us about things that he is allowed to speak to us about, just like we did with other witnesses. Thank you, Chair.
I agree 100% with you and give you 100% for that profound input. You are going to testify. I'm just saying that between you and the legal team, because if you listen to what the senior counsel says is that you do not have that certificate. The authorities must know wherever they are that there is nothing you are going to say in these proceedings that has to do with classified intelligence information. I think you are not the first witness to come here. If there are any other matters that have to do with intelligence, there is a standing committee here that deals with intelligence, which you can be a person of interest to them. So when you are here, you must not even be an inch, be tempted to speak intelligence matters with us. We will confine you to the evidence you want to share with the committee. Yeah. So, but for now, we are going to request you to go to the waiting room, because there is a witness who must occupy the chair that you occupy. You are welcome. Honorable Sols. Honorable Skosana has requested that you must not address them as the MKP, but as Honorable Skosana. That is his request. I'm conveying it to you. So, Mr. Ramano, when you don't see him, because I know you normally see him sitting on my lap, when you don't see him here, he's ushering in the first witness. When he left here, he said they were at the reception area, finalizing their permission to access the premises. So I think in no time, the first witness should be here. Honorable Sangoni and then Honorable Skosana.
Thank you very much, Chair. Maybe just to take this opportunity while we still wait, can the Chair maybe outline a procedure for today? I know the chronology that the witnesses are coming, but do we take a witness? How much time for engagement and so forth and so forth? Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. There are two witnesses that are going to be led by by the legal team, Anonymous 1 and Anonymous 2. Maybe if they can indicate to us how much time do they need with each of the witnesses.
Thank you, Honourable Chair, honourable members. If we were to start with Anonymous 2, and a request that we stand down for a short while, I don't see any reason why Anonymous 2 can't appear before us this morning, given the allegations made by him, her, and what permission needs to be sought, other than obviously asking for consent, whether to appear before us in camera, which I raised with you, or whether it should be in an open session like this. But I would expect that evidence to be no longer than 1 to 2 hours, if that long. Mr. Mashukuca, that's going to be subject to you and the Honourable Committee, considering the correspondence which we expect to receive from the State Security Agency. Advocate Mkhwanazi is going to deal with Patricia Mashale, who's going to be about two hours or so, just to be led. Much has been said about with Ms. Mashale already. And then Mr. Dotyeni will also be likely not longer than 2 hours, to be led by Ms. Advocate Mkhize.
Yeah. We're going to allocate to 1 hour each. We don't have 2 hours for these witnesses who are coming here are not key witnesses identified by the committee. So we will not lead evidence for 2 hours on each one of them. So the 2 hours must be used to complete the evidence of the two witnesses. Because members have to be given, it means today we are going to have 2 rounds. I know Honorable Malema speaks about 3. Today we are going to have 2. The first round will be the 2 anonymous witnesses. At the time we take the first break, we must have concluded their presentation. And then we come back and allocate members time, 10 minutes per witness. And then we take the other 2 witnesses. We allocate you again 2 hours to lead evidence. So we are going to have a long night today. The earliest time we can finish is 12 hours midnight. That is the earliest time we are going to finish tonight. Honorable Skosan.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to find out, understanding the issue, though I have my own reservation, because at the State Capture Commission, people from SSA testified there, whether they gave them certificate, but the one who was sitting here with us said he left long ago. But I'm not sure why you say you must go to the waiting room, because in the last week we had those NGOs, they were sitting together here. I'm not sure whether I'm I'm missing something. That witnesses can sit here.
Yeah, no, there is no problem.
Yes.
They can sit at any space designated.
No, I thought you send her
No.
packing home.
I didn't want to bore him with our staff where he sits here and we are discussing matters of the MKP in his presence. So at any time the proceedings start, we can always invite him to join if he so wishes. So, Honorable Sangoni, time will be allocated like that, 2 hours for presentations. All of you today, exercising the benevolence of the chair, you are allocated 20 minutes each, full members and alternates, 20 minutes each. And then we will then take the second set of witnesses, 2 hours, 20 minutes each. We run until the finishing line. Yeah, let me stand up and go and check my witnesses. Yes, our witness has arrived. She was not supposed to be the first witness on our list today, and we can't blame her. The legal team tells me that last night they received messages of withdrawals from Gun-Free South Africa, which was supposed to be number one today, followed by Dr. Rolls, who was also going to present second. So the schedule that you see here of appearances is a schedule which was revised overnight. The witness that is here was supposed to be appearing in the afternoon. But we want to thank you that you are here. Honorable Breitenbach.
Thank you, Chair. I see the people taking videos and photos. Is that in order with this witness?
Yeah, no, the witness doesn't have a problem. What the witness wanted was to remain anonymous until she appears here. That is the information I got. Thank you so much. Honorable Sangon.
Sorry, Chair, could we have reasons for the withdrawal of Gun-Free South Africa and the doctor? We've spent a lot of time going through their...
Yeah, let's deal with that later. For now, is that they are no longer appearing before the committee. So they forfeited their right to appear. So I think the legal team will give that, and the secretary will give that reasons later. It's unfortunate that we were looking forward to our engagement with them. Senior counsel, can we formally introduce the witness and pass the remarks that you may want to pass?
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Honorable members. Our witness today, first witness is Ms. Gladness Patricia Mashali. Welcome. My colleague, Ms. Mkhwanazi, will read her evidence. So if I may request that you swear in as a witness to take the oath if she wishes to, or to affirm, then we can begin with the reading of the evidence. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Advocate Aronson. Good morning to you, Ms. Patricia Mashali.
Good morning, Chair.
Is your surname Mashale or Mashale?
Mashale.
From Bushbuckridge?
No, it's my married name, so it's my married surname.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I know Mashale is a Bushbuckridge surname. That is where the surname is very common. Welcome to the Ad Hoc Committee.
Thank you, Chair.
You have made an application to appear before us and volunteered to share any information that you may want to do so with us within the terms of reference that we have outlined. And because in your evidence there are allegations or facts that you are going to make or state against certain individuals and institutions of the state, we will have to swear you in for oath or affirmation. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Before we swear you in, I'm going to read or make the following remarks to you that you have been invited here by the Ad Hoc Committee, which investigate allegations that have been made by the Police Commissioner for the province of KwaZulu-Natal, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. This committee investigating those allegations, and we believe that the information or evidence that you are going to present here will help the committee in its oversight work or in its investigative responsibilities. The allegations include, amongst others, the alleged unlawful disbandment of the Political Killings Task Team, otherwise known as the PKTT or NPKTT. And number two, the alleged moratorium on the filling of vacancies within the South African Police Services, the SAPS. Number three, alleged corrupt relationship between senior leadership within the SAPS and members of the public. And lastly, the alleged interference, political interference in the work of the SAPS. Mrs. Mashale, in extending this invitation to you, the Ad Hoc Committee chairperson has indicated that you may provide such information to the committee if you so wish under oath in terms of the powers, privileges and immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act of 2004. Please be informed that by law, you are required to answer fully and satisfactorily all the questions lawfully put to you, or to produce any document that you are required to produce in connection with the subject matter of the inquiry, notwithstanding the fact that the answer or the document could incriminate you or expose you to criminal or civil proceedings or damages. Ms. Mashale, you are, however, protected in that evidence given under oath or affirmation before a house or committee may not be used against you in any court or place outside Parliament, except in criminal proceedings concerning a charge of perjury or a charge relating to the evidence or document required in these proceedings. Please be aware that in terms of Section 17, subsection 2 of the Powers, Privileges and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act, a person who willfully furnishes a House or a Committee of Parliament with information or makes a statement before it which is false or misleading commits an offence and is liable to a fine or to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 2 years. Ms. Mashale, you are required to take an oath or affirm that the evidence you are about to give is truthful. Which one do you elect?
I'm taking the oath.
You have elected oath. You shall follow me as I dictate to you. May you please say I and state your names in full.
I, Clayton Patricia Mashale,
Swear that the evidence I shall give
swear that the evidence I shall give
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
And so help me God.
So help me God.
We have allocated you between now and 13 hours, yourselves and Advocate Mkhwanazi, to conclude the presentation of oral evidence. And then we are going to break. After break, members are going to be afforded an opportunity to ask you questions. Thank you so much. All the best.
Good morning, Ms. Mashale. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Good morning.
Chair, I just need to indicate and maybe ask Ms. Mashale if she is comfortable to proceed, because we have her statement, and in her statement she makes reference to several annexures which have not been printed. And so I do not know to which extent she wishes to make a reference to it while she's busy with her evidence, or whether she'd be comfortable if I just take her through a statement as is. And maybe I could just give an indication to confirm if she is okay to proceed in the absence of those annexures.
I'm okay to proceed with the affidavit because I already sent all the annexes to Vivian, but there's another annexure in the form of a presentation that also just need to be printed.
Honorable Matthias.
Thank you, Chair. Do we have the annexures electronically? And why weren't they printed? Because we also knew that this witness was appearing today. But let's park that because we're going to get into administration. Do we have them electronically?
I believe Parliament's team has circulated the annexures with the statement. I believe the Parliament team did send the statement with annexures, although they were not marked. It was just a bundle of documents.
And when you look around, you'll see that there is nobody to respond to that question. Honorable Sols.
Yeah, maybe the staff is not around to respond, Chair, but we can respond to the fact that we do not have the annexures electronically. We only have the statement. So we do not have it even electronically.
That is exactly what you can see. I'm also sitting alone here.
No, it's just that, as you said, that the advocate said that we have received it.
The answer that Honorable Matthias wants is to say, yes, we received those annexures. We will post them in the group, or we haven't received them. You will not have them. Unfortunately, I don't see anybody. I don't see Dr. Thuli. I don't see Nicolette. I don't see Pilot. Neither Bonani is here. Nobody's here.
I hear you, Chair, but advocate was saying she is under the impression that it was sent to us. So we can respond to that. It wasn't sent to us.
Yeah. Honorable Matthias.
Chair, clearly there's no synergy between the legal team here and our technical team, especially regarding the public submissions. And it's a problem since we started taking public submissions. So I'm just asking that as a chair that you sort of intervene and be able to give guidance. I mean, even the legal team, I mean, it's terrible that even our technical team have all disappeared. We can't even have something as basic as and we've paid money to get witnesses to come and appear here. But also on the side of the legal team should have brought it to our attention that they don't have the annexures like from yesterday. If we were properly prepared as well, then we could have intervened much earlier. So maybe we just need to have better checks and balances so we don't further embarrass this parliament of being as inefficient as it is. And at some point, the technical team must be reported. Because here the whole country is watching. We can't even print annexures or even have them electronically available. It's embarrassing. The third arm of state, that's annexures.
We can't blame the legal team here because this is a process that ensues from public submission.
They should have asked for it because how they lead in evidence also a chair without having the annexures. I'm not saying, what I'm saying is that if everybody was doing what they were supposed to do, by now we would have known that the annexures are not annexed because clearly it's just loose documents and then it's not printed and it's not available electronically. So we just have failures on all sides. Parliament, the service providers of the legal team, it's a mess.
Yeah. Look, honorable members, the documents that you always have before you are not sent to you by the legal team. The technical team that supports the committee is the one that's responsible for ensuring that you receive all the documents that come before you. So they have not done it. The legal team cannot be overburdened we are being unfair on them if we want to castigate them. Because all the time, if you know the work that they do, sometimes we even sit here, they take leave from our meetings to go and prepare statements of witnesses. They can't prepare a statement and forward it to the secretariat. And when the secretariat has failed to make sure that the committee receives those documents, we want to blame the legal team. We want those annexures. And there is nobody here from the technical team of Parliament. Honorable Matthews.
Chair, I don't want to be misunderstood. I'm not blaming the legal team, but I'm saying the legal team is here. It's not Parliament staff that's leading evidence, right? Yes, it's wrong. I don't know what's going on with our technical team. But if our legal team prepared, they would have known already that this technical team of ours hasn't submitted and brought it to your attention, so there should have been intervention. It can't be that the legal team even comes here now and says they get the information the same time as we do. And there's been at no point a report or a request for intervention that I don't have something. There's something lacking here.
I want to take you back to your decisions, honorable members. Because when you met in your own committee meeting, you were the ones that said, with regard to public submissions, there is no need for any statement to be prepared. That is a decision of the committee. And the legal team is just assisting us with the presentation of evidence. But our technical team is the one that is responsible because these documents were received by them as public submissions. It's not like a list of witnesses that we agree on and pass to the legal team for consultations. And I'm not saying I'm defending the legal team, I'm stating a fact here. Honorable Advocate Mkhize.
Chair, I can't speak for the technical team, but we certainly have the annexures and we did prepare accordingly. We have the annexures, they were circulated to us last week.
They are not helping us.
So I'm just saying
you have the annexures and that is why yourselves are prepared. And the question that honorable members are asking is why they do not have. You have the person who shared those annexures with you was supposed to have also shared them with the Ad Hoc Committee, and they did not. So, and if I stand up here where I'm sitting, it means the meeting collapses because we want a person who can get, I don't know where they are, the technical team. None of them is here. So someone should come here and say, we are sending you those annexures now, or we don't have those annexures.
Okay, we are now going to have the annexure bundle printed. Vanani says it'll take about 10-15 minutes. That's the annexure bundle that was sent to us yesterday.
Yeah, but can I check? Do we have an electronic version of those annexures?
Okay, we received an electronic bundle from Parliament's team. So our understanding is that when the documents are circulated to us,
Who is the person that sent you that electronic version?
Mr. Ramano sent us the bundle with the statement. So our understanding is when we receive the statement with the annexures, because we didn't consult with the witness, it would also be the time when he sends it to the rest of the committee. So when we, yeah.
That the annexure bundle you received from whom?
From Mr. Ramano with the statement.
So it was an electronic version.
Yes, they were not marked, but it was a bundle of documents which we understood was part of her annexures.
And who else is coming from Parliament here? From the staff of Parliament? Well, I'm not seeing anybody from the staff of Parliament because Mr. Ramano took the bundle and he left. So we will have to wait for that 10 to 15 minutes for him to come back with a Honorable Matthews.
Chair, can I make a suggestion that we start and maybe we'll just park questions that might, or responses that might have to be referred to the annex just in the interest of time.
What are the members saying? Honorable Skosana, are you opposed to us starting?
I second Honorable Matthews that let's start.
Advocate Mkhwanazi and Ms. Mashala, can we start?
Okay, Chair. Should we start? Okay, good morning again, Ms. Mashale.
Good morning.
You have your statement in front of you.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Perhaps it would be a good start if you start by introducing yourself and maybe just give us a brief background to your employment history, which I note is in SAPS as well.
Okay. I'm Patricia Mashale. I was employed on 1 August 2007 as an administration clerk in the South African Police Service.
Closed.
Okay. Since 2008, I have been reporting wrongdoing in the South African Police Service. To an extent where I try to report everywhere, from the SAPS management to the MEC of Police, to the Premier, and to the office of the former minister, who was the late Nadine Ntetwa. And my last resort was the office of the former President Zuma. And he was the one who immediately instructed the minister to appoint IPID to do an investigation into the corruption that I reported. That was in 2009.
May I just take you a little bit back before you start? And you started off by giving us an introduction in your employment in SAPS. And I see from your statement you've been employed at SAPS from 2007 up until 2022. And you had the position of an admin clerk.
Yes.
Now, it has come to light, we had a witness here, General Khumalo, who gave evidence in relation to your employment at SAPS. And one of the things that he said during his testimony was that your employment at SAPS in 2007 was irregular. And he said that you failed to disclose that you were previously dismissed at the Department of Health, and that you, so you'll see in the exhibit bundle that I've given to you, he's actually attached something from SAPS to that effect.
Okay.
What do you have to say about that?
Yes, I heard him saying that. So in 1998, I enrolled as a student nurse at the Free State College of Nursing. It was in January 1998. In May 1998, I was admitted with acute appendicitis in hospital. I was booked off for 6 weeks. And during that time, I submitted my medical certificate to the college. And in June of 1998, I decided that nursing is actually also not my passion. So I'm not going to waste my time and proceed with it was a bursary. So I submitted my termination forms, my termination application to the Free State College of Nursing. And everything was processed, documents were submitted. So from 1998 up until 2007, I didn't do anything. I was a housewife. I raised my children. And so in 2007, there was post advertised at the South African Police Service. I applied. I went through all the stages of recruitment. Fingerprints were taken, background checks were taken, and I was appointed on 1st August 2008. Shortly after I started working, there was this rumor by Director MP Molloy, he retired as Major General Molloy, that I was dismissed from Department of Health. And I was appointed in the South African Police Service because I had a romantic relationship with a late former Deputy Provincial Commissioner, Major General Eric Nkuna. I didn't even know who the Deputy Provincial Commissioner was. But what I remember, in December of 2007, the secretary of Major General Nkuna was on leave. And I was support commander at Vespol because I was working under the component Vespol. Our support commander, Captain Stein, came to our office and she said that between us who are working in that office, they need someone to go and assist in General Nkuna's office because his secretary is on leave. No one was prepared to go, even myself, because I just started and now I must go to the 9th floor to be a secretary to the general. That I don't know. No one was prepared to go. At the end of the day, the staff officer of the general decided that they are just going to randomly choose someone. to go. That was Captain Baikis at the time. He also retired as Lieutenant Colonel Baikis. And Captain Stein came to me and said, Patricia, Captain Baikis called and they say you must go and work at the Assistant General's office. I didn't have a choice. It was an instruction. So I went to work in the General's office. I was assisting there for 2 weeks. Now, Director Peter Molloy's wife was working with me in the same office. Her name is also Patricia Molloy. And I don't know how the story started, but suddenly I now had a romantic relationship with General Mkhwanazi, and he was the one who appointed me. General Mkhwanazi didn't work in recruitment. He was not part of the recruitment. What they should have done, they should have go to my personal file and check how I was appointed, how I went through the recruitment processes. But at the end of the day, I was charged departmentally because the allegation was now that I failed to disclose that I was dismissed at the Department of Health. I won that case because there was a departmental trial. The generals from HR head offices was called as witnesses. Department of Health HR was called as witnesses, and they came and testified to say she did submit everything, her documents. Department of the Health are the ones who failed to capture her application, to capture her termination. And then what I did, then I went to my lawyer. I filed a defamation case against Molloy, and the court granted me damages. I filed for 100,000. The court granted me 50,000 in damages. And I did in my annexes submit all those documents relating to the departmental trial, relating to how that case was finalized.
Where in your statement do you reference that finding where you got a damages claim? Is it referred to in your statement?
On the presentation that I referred to, because on the presentation that I referred to, there's other matters that I'm going to discuss on that presentation. That's where I referred it to.
So if you look at exhibit, that small exhibit bundle, page 1, where they give your personal information from the Department of Health.
That's one.
The first page. It's indicated there, and it's sort of marked in black. I don't know if you can see properly, but it said there that the reason why it said you resigned in 1998 on the first page. And if you look at the second page, it said that the reason why you denied is because of dissertation.
Yes.
So these documents are they then false, or
if you can
not valid?
If you can look at the date said 14/12/2007.
Okay.
In that bundle that I sent you, the annexes that I sent you, you will find there where they say that the reason why it was captured as desertion is because Department of Health failed to capture the documents that I submitted to terminate the enrollment. And just on this again, Lieutenant General Khumalo is the head of crime intelligence. It was easy for him to go and check on my personal file because the documents that I submitted to on the email, my personal file, you would have seen that in the departmental trial that was where I was charged in 2008. I was acquitted in that trial. You would have seen the documents that I submitted where I filed for defamation. You would have seen the court order. You would have seen the letter that was sent by General Masimula, was the head of support that time, to say that this matter is regarded as finalized because it was not the fault of it was not my fault, but it was the fault of the Department of Health. So before I came here, my lawyers told me that even when you ask me about this, because currently they are also busy with the defamation suit against General Khumalo relating to this matter.
Or maybe once the annexures are printed, you can then take the committee to the relevant documents that you're referring to. And then I'd slowly like to take us through your statement, because I could hear that you were leaving quite a lot of information out as you were trying to tell your story. Your statement is not very long, so I believe we can very quickly, we have an hour, we can quickly go through it.
Okay.
From your statement, and I'm looking at your background of in your history of whistleblowing that you started off by telling us, it appears that your husband was also quite active, and it seems that the two of you were quite hardworking at making sure that corruption is uncovered if one reads your statement. So in your whistleblowing from 2009 to, it appears from your date of dismissal that you were actively involved in whistleblowing with your husband.
Didn't stop with my date of dismissal. It's still ongoing. So yes, it's true. My husband also, in 2008, while executing his duties, he also came across massive corruption committed. It was a syndicate of police officers, drug lords, motor vehicle syndicates, traffic cops, all those kind of things. And most of them, these police officers was working within the crime intelligence environment. And he was part of a task team who was working with these serious crimes. And as a result of him exposing, him and his two colleagues was arrested. And it was alleged that they are the ones who are part of these syndicates. So what General Mkhwanazi said about cartels and syndicates didn't start recently, something that came a long time ago. And when you speak out about these things, the first thing that they do, they arrest you. Whether there's something against you, whether they arrest you. They will add the charges later as they go. So they were arrested. Despite, if you can also look in that annexure that I sent you, there's the report from ICD, where they say despite the fact that there was absolutely no evidence against them, they were detained for 10 days without being charged. Their lawyer had to approach the High Court to force SAPS to charge them. So mind you, the allegations against them was that it's serious crimes. After 10 days, they were charged, 3 of them, of taking a bribe of 120 rand over a period of 3 years. This 120 rand was not fined on any one of them, but that was the charge. So now you ask yourself, if 3 people takes a bribe of 120 rand over a period of 3 years, how did they manage? And in April of 2008, all charges against them were dropped. They also sued the state for malicious arrest. And yeah.
Yeah, I see you refer to that in paragraph 6 of your statement. The facts you've just described about what you say is the unlawful arrest of your husband. And one interesting fact that you mentioned there is that your husband was then asked to fabricate allegations against a senior official, General Nhlanhla, in order for the charges against your husband to be dropped. Now, this General Nkuna that's mentioned here, is it the same
The
general that was said to have cleared your Department of Health record?
Yes. The same General Nkuna, remember General Nkuna was the Deputy Provincial Commissioner of Police. It was at this time where there were only two deputies. It was a Provincial Commissioner, Deputy Support, Deputy Policing. So General Nkuna was the Deputy Policing. So everyone under policing, crime intelligence were reported to him. So now came this person to my husband while he's in detention, because him and his colleagues was not detained at the same police station. He was detained about 60 kilometers out of Bloemfontein. The other one is 30 kilometers. So when this person came to him, Colonel Sinatle, they fetched him from Welkom. Mind you, these crimes were committed in Bloemfontein. They fetched him from Welkom. He must come investigate these cases. You went to my husband and he said, the only way we are going to drop these charges against you, you must implicate General Nkuna and say, he is part of these syndicates. And Colonel Sinatle came later to my husband and he said, I was fetched and I was told that by General Tsumani, who was still a brigadier at the time. General Tsumani was the head of detectives. He told my husband, General Tsumani told me that I must make sure that you implicate General Nkuna.
So did your husband fabricate? Did he implicate?
He didn't. He refused.
So in paragraph 3 is where you, of your statement, is where you deal with the chronology of events and retaliation. And this is where you mention the report that you've made to IPID, where you've reported or you made certain protected disclosures. Do you just briefly want to talk us through the events that happened there in 2021?
Okay. It did not actually start in 2021. I started to make the protected disclosures in 2018 to General Sithole, whereby I came across on the system, because I was the one who was monitoring the firearm applications in the province. I was the one who could check what is the status of firearms or firearm applications. So now in 2018, we got a new commander in the firearm section, because I was working with firearm liquor and second-hand goods, Colonel Lewis. So Colonel Lewis started working, and then he came to me one day and he said, you know what? Something strange is happening at the firearm storage facility. There's no records, there's no record keeping. The firearms are not packed as per the prescriptions. There's no registers. Every Tuesday, the police stations are bringing firearms, but there's no records of these firearms. And he gave me a list. He said, can you please take this list and check for me, where is all these firearms? I took the list, I went with a list through the system, and lo and behold, I found that a warrant officer who is working at the facility storage was busy selling the firearms that was meant for destruction. He was selling the firearms back to the black market. There was names of police officers who were part of this, from police station level up to head office. There were names of dealers who bought the firearms. I printed all that information and I gave it to Colonel Lewis. I said, this is the information. Firearms were licensed at the Central Firearm Registry. Firearms that were meant for destruction were licensed at the Central Firearm Registry. And I could see on the system, when you go and look on the serial number of the firearm, you can see the firearm belongs to the state. But then on the other system, you see this firearm is licensed. So Colonel Lewis was shocked. And then Colonel Lewis went to report it to Major General Lysia, who is the current Deputy Provincial Commissioner of Policing.
Before we get there, just the information you've given us now, where is that? That's not in your statement.
No, that's not in my statement. Hence, I was telling you that I didn't make the protect disclosures in 2021. It's that what General Sitole. It started actually with the firearms in 2018. In 2021, when I made the other protected disclosure, there was already the one of the firearm that General Sitole never handled. Because what happened, when Colonel Lewis went to General Lysia, he didn't act. And then Colonel Lewis said, Patricia, you know what, I don't know what to do, because this thing is still going on and General Lysia is not saying anything. And I say, I'm not going to leave it like that.
But sorry, where would one find that you were at admin clerk at the time, right? So under which circumstances as an admin clerk was the information revealed to you, and how does one find proof that all of this reporting
I'm coming there. Now, admin clerks are the ones who work with the administration of the police. Police officers work outside. When they are done with their job, they bring their files to the admin clerks. We are the ones who capture the system. We are the ones who check whatever on the system. Admin clerks are the brains of the South African Police Service. Without the admin clerks, most of the police officers cannot even open a computer, send an email. So there's where admin clerks come in. So now, I was responsible for monitoring firearm applications and the firearms that were meant for destruction in Free State. It was my job. So when Colonel Lewis gave me this list, I had to go and check each firearm, serial number per serial number, to check what is the status of that firearm, where is that firearm at the current moment. There's where I found it. The status of this firearm shows that is forfeited to the state and is meant to be distracted, but a license have been issued on that firearm, is already on the streets, it's been sold. But the status showed it must still be distracted. Here's what I found. So when General Lysia didn't act on the information, that's where I sent an email. I first called General Sitole and said, we have this situation in Free State. He referred me to General Libya. I reported to General Libya. He referred me to General Mutley, who was the DPC I had in Free State. General Mutley is the one who said, bring me all the information, bring me all the evidence, so that I can establish a task team to investigate this. Then, that was in 2019, then lockdown happened. But during the lockdown, Colonel Scotta, who was working under General Mutley, called me while I was at home to say, we need that evidence, we need that information. He picked me up from my house. We went to my office. I gave him 2 boxes full of printouts with all the information. He was with another Colonel Bota, I think, from Pretoria DPCI. Colonel Bota took my statement. I gave him all the information. And then the investigation was about to start. General Mutley told me, say, Patricia, in DPCI, we don't have someone who have the functions to check the firearms on the serial numbers. So I'm going to write a letter to the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Dotyeni, to request that you come as a service arrangement to assist us to check all those firearm statuses. Indeed, he wrote a letter to General Dotyeni. to request for the service arrangement so that the investigation can proceed. And she declined that request. And that is where everything ended. So in 2021, that's when I now made the new protected disclosures to the National Commissioner relating to more corruption. And implicating senior managers in SAPS, including the same General Dotyeni, who's the provincial, she retired last month, implicating General Isia, who's current acting provincial commissioner, with witnesses who gave me their affidavits. And I sent everything to General Sithole, everything, the witness affidavits, everything. That was on the 6th January 2021. On 13 January 2021, one of my witnesses who gave me statement to support those protected disclosures I make to General Sithole, he was then Captain Gerald Smith. He's now Lieutenant Colonel Smith. He came to my office, him and Colonel Moorcroft, and he said to me, Patricia, there's trouble. I asked him what happened. He said, General Lysia called me yesterday, very, very angry. And he said to me, he saw my statement in that document, that protected disclosure that you sent to General Sithole. And I must make sure I remove myself from all those things because he is going to deal with you. He's going to make sure that you get dismissed. That is what Smith is telling me in the presence of Colonel Moorcroft in my office. And that is what indeed happened.
Can I refer you to your statement in paragraph 3.1? The events that you describe are those is that the protected disclosure that you're referring to?
Yes.
Now, in relation to the allegations there, we know from the documents that you've sent, there's an IPID report which seems to have cleared these allegations, that seems to suggest that there was no merit to these allegations. I want to refer you to this IPID report that deals with, might be difficult to find because it's not marked. But it's dated the 5th of August, 2022. You do recognize the documents, and those are the documents that you sent to Parliament's team.
I recognize all the documents, but I have not found that IPID report yet. Who signed the report, if I may ask? Because there was a lot of IPID investigations.
Okay. This one is signed by... It's signed on the 3rd of August by a Mr. T. Kifeleka. Yeah.
Unless I say better in the better, but okay. There was, to which investigation does that report refer to? I have one, yeah.
Marked confidential at the top. It looks like this.
Is it
It looks like that. I think you might have the right one. Yes.
This one is signed 3rd of August 2022. Okay, this IPAD report is relating to the citizenship of Lieutenant General Nhlanhla. It's not relating to that protected disclosures that I made. And I will come to this. If you want me to talk about this now, then I can proceed. Do you want me to proceed with this one?
You can proceed with the events that you referred to in paragraph 3.1. What was the outcome of those that protected disclosure that you make?
Nothing.
The one in paragraph 3.1?
Nothing. I opened cases. I went to the police station, opened cases. I must first also come because in that presentation that I told you that I must also even move to the NPA, the DPP, the prosecutors, because I opened cases, the cases was investigated, and all my cases, the prosecutor just gave instructions that my docket should not be prosecuted.
Maybe then explain to us what does this report
That's
relate
the one.
to? Yes.
This one is relating to the citizenship of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. She has been mentioned by several people here relating to the Ketmatlala issue. Now there is a question relating to the citizenship of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. This matter was reported a long time ago. So in 2022, IPA did this investigation and they came up with this investigation report. And if you can go through the investigation report, you will see a lot of consistencies in this investigation report. But in 2024, I reported this matter again to the former Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Aaron Dotyeni. He ordered investigation, and Mr. Mulale of Home Affairs Anti-Corruption investigated this matter. Mr. Mulale gave me regular feedback relating to this. And during the investigation in August last year, because General Mkhwanazi was first called, or she first signed the police documents as Ntia, and during the investigation, while the investigation was still in progress, she then suddenly changed her signature to Mkhwanazi. So the feedback that Mr. Mulale and General Mkhwanazi from Anti-Corruption Home Affairs gave me personally, they say, on the Home Affairs database, they could not find any documents, either on file, in the National Population Register, or anywhere on their database. That's what they told me. They called General Mkhwanazi so that she can tell them the ID that she's using, which documents did she use to apply for that ID. She refused to cooperate with the investigation. She refused. And then they went to the hospital where she alleged she was born. There's no records. They went to the 2 schools where she alleged she was a learner. They don't have records. They went to the person that she alleged was a brother in Welkom. He refused to meet with them. And they went to Department of Education to check on matric certificate qualifications. They couldn't find any. And as a result of that, they handed their investigation report over to Immigration Services for the determination of her citizenship status. In August of last year, I met with Mr. Van Neel from Immigration Services. He confirmed to me that There is no records of either the Neo Nsia or the Neo Nkhawa on the Home Affairs system. He said he can confirm that the late mother was a Lesotho citizen. He have the ID copy of the person that she cited as her father. But this Ernest Nkhawa was not married to her mother. He was married to another lady. So, what he was going to do, proceeding with this investigation, he must now go. He told me she have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, of which I know one of the sisters, one sister is a brigadier at Forensic Services. So he said he must go to them to go and determine how did they obtain the IDs back, because up until that day, she was still refusing to cooperate with the investigation. That was the feedback that I received from Mr. Van Neil. So this investigation that IPED did was a cover-up. Former Minister Xolile and General Masimula presented this to the previous portfolio committee as the truth. Then I wrote an email to the former executive director of IPED. I said, you allege here you have documents. As a complainant in this matter, can you please provide the documents to the Department of Home Affairs so that they can see where did you obtain your documents, because on this database, they don't have documents. The executive director told me since last year, May, the emails of IPED doesn't work up until her contract expired. I've never received those documents because she told me the emails is not in working condition.
Okay, but it does appear from the bundle of documents that you sent that there was a further report which seemed to have cleared General Nsia. And if you look at this, this is the same report, it appears, that was presented to the portfolio committee, because you've written to Parliament, it seems, wherein you brought your complaints to the attention of the portfolio committee as well. And this IPED report was signed on the 20th of September 2022, and it includes some of the allegations that you make in paragraph 3.1 of your statement.
There was one question that I asked the South African Police Service. If you cleared General Nkhawa, how did you obtain information from the systems of Home Affairs? Because Home Affairs are the only people who can clear. Hence, I went to the minister, the former minister, to ask him to do his own investigation. And as we are speaking now, they are still busy with that investigation. So how did they clear through an internal investigation?
Okay.
Without including
Honorable Souls.
Thank you, Chair. Can we just be referred to the actual document that the advocate is dealing with, please? We did receive attachments now, so if we can just be referred to which one is it exactly, so that we can follow together. Thank you.
Okay, Chair, there's an information note dated the 5th of September 2022, and it is directed to the Honorable Minister of Police, Minister Becky Cele, and this is the second IPED report, which was signed by Honorable Matale and by former Minister Becky Cele.
Chair, maybe Parliament should assist the Secretariat to tell us, based on the attachments, what is it named, what is the attachment called, so that we can go to that attachment.
Independent Police Investigative Directorate. Then on top is the stamp of the ministry, 19 September 2022.
No, the attachments we have is labeled differently, so not from your side, from what we have received. So if the Secretariat can just assist, please, Chair. What is it labeled as on our attachment?
I don't think the annexures were numbered when they were sent to us or to the members. Ms. Mashale did not remark the annexures, and it also appears the annexures in the statement do not necessarily align. I mean, we had difficulty reading through it as well, Chair, and the way we've organized it was chronology, but with sort of time frames, because the statement itself does not properly describe the particular annexure.
So, Ms. Mashale, you insist that the police officer in question is not legally in the country.
Chairperson, before I came here, I called Mr. Mulale because last week I was contacted with someone who alleged that he's working with Mr. Van Niel. And he said to me that they obtained statements from family members and cousins who confirmed that General Nhlanhla was born in South Africa. And I told him, I said, you know what? A statement cannot determine whether someone was born in South Africa, but...
No, just respond to the question. Is it your...
Yes.
Your statement before this committee that this officer is not legally in the country?
It's my statement, and Mr. Mulale requested that if the committee wants to know more, they can call.
Don't worry about who says what.
It's my statement, Chair.
Make a submission. We're a committee of parliament.
Yes.
We will ask anybody who must be answerable to give us those answers.
Please, Chair, that is my statement.
Thank you. You can proceed.
In light of your submission, can we then take it that you dispute this IPID report that was produced and signed off by the former Minister of Police?
I dispute it. I dispute it.
You were given a copy of the outcome of your complaints at the time. Were you given a copy of this? You obviously had.
Yes, I was given a copy, but not the entire. What I was given was this part, not this.
Maybe just how long did Home Affairs start this investigation?
Home Affairs started the investigation in my request to the former minister was in 2020. I think it was April 2024. Yes.
And even now, the investigation is not concluded.
Even now, the investigation is not complete. But what I told myself is I'm going to give them a fair chance.
No. Just respond to the question. When was the last time they gave you an update?
Last week.
Last week. And they said we're still investigating.
Last week, Mr. Van Niel told me to say that he is finalizing the report. He must go and present it to the Director General, and then they must go and present in the Portfolio Committee of Home Affairs.
Okay. Honorable Matthys.
Yeah. I really hate bringing up the issue of this technical team of ours. We cannot be getting over 21 separate documents for annexes here. They're not even labeled. How does that even work, Chair? What must happen? Because every time we raise this, we just lost for words and then we just continue. Nobody comes and nobody answers for over 21 attachments just random in our WhatsApp group. These things we resolved last week already that these witnesses were coming here. What are we going to do, Chair? You're not even going to let V respond because he's the one that's posting like 21 just loose documents in there. We don't know. They're not labeled, just nothing. Like, what are we? Then we may as well just close for today and then they must go get their act together because this is embarrassing. We can't even follow the witness properly. We're not doing justice to her testimony.
You have a valid point, Honorable Wananu. Who are you working with? Who is helping you in your work?
I've got two secretary and a committee assistant. But maybe in terms of the labeling of the documents, I was not in a position to label them. I received them as they are, so I couldn't give them names.
Because I always see you sitting alone here. I don't know who is helping you to do these things, and it can be overwhelming if you do not have adequate support. I think it's a matter which we will take during the break, because really it's annoying for members. I mean, they have been raising it and we don't seem to be coming right. Okay, Honorable Size.
Chair, and we can't indirectly blame the witness for that. Because if the witness supplies documents, our technical team should now put it together for us based on what they see the witness has presented, and then put it in order for us. This is Annexure 1, this is 2, so that we can follow through. So it's not the witness's fault here. And now we have documents that are listed as C1, 2, 3, 5. It's wrong. And we want to follow the witness. And I don't think it's such a major issue. We should just now identify the document. Let's work with what we have. If a document is dealt with, what is that document on our attachments? We go with it. It's not a major train smash, but we just should be able to follow. That's all, and correct what has happened now. It shouldn't be repeated. It's very wrong.
Yeah. They hear you, honorable members, that today is the last time we speak about this matter. May we proceed, Honorable Mkhwanazi. Advocate Mkhwanazi.
Okay, then, Ms. Mashale, you've mentioned General Lysia quite a bit from the beginning of your testimony, and it appears that there were quite a lot of conflict between the two of you during your time at SAPS. And one of the biggest issues between the two of you appears to stem from WhatsApps that were exchanged on a group, to which General Lysia took offense to and decided to get a protection order against you, as well as a harassment charges. Now, the WhatsApp messages are part of the bundle. I've come across some WhatsApp messages that were exchanged. So in dealing with this, what I really want to hear is whether you did in fact circulate the WhatsApp messages in relation about General Lysia, and your thoughts in him getting a protection order and a harassment charge against you.
Okay. It has absolutely nothing to do with the WhatsApp messages. General Lysia was one of the generals that I implicated in my protected disclosures when I made the protected disclosures to General Sithole. As a result thereof, General Lysia is the one who charged me departmentally because I made protected disclosures to General Sithole. We had a WhatsApp group for the members, a visible WhatsApp group. a lot of messages were circulated in those WhatsApp groups. Now, generally, I don't know, because it was not even part of that WhatsApp group. It was not part of that WhatsApp group. That WhatsApp group was for junior members. So I don't know how he obtained screenshots of WhatsApps that were circulated in the groups. But this issue was because I was charged criminally. I was arrested. I was charged criminally. I was in court on trial because of these WhatsApp groups. I was acquitted in court because I was not the one who was sharing the WhatsApp groups in the group. Witnesses were called to come and testify, and they testified that this is not Patricia's number. But generally, someone told him that I was the one who was circulating the WhatsApp groups. The court made him to read the WhatsApp groups in court. And they asked him, where is the person? Is the person who shared these screenshots with you willing to come and testify on this? And that person was not willing. And the other witnesses were part of the WhatsApp group. One of them even testified, Latoya von der Roos, that she was threatened by Colonel van der Merwe, who's now a brigadier. He was shortly after he arrested me and seized my phone, he was promoted to a brigadier. He threatened Latoya to a point where Latoya asked me to go with her to IPID to go and complain about this stress, because he told Latoya if she doesn't hand over her phone to him so that he can see what were we communicating about, he will also arrest her. And that is what she testified in court. And at the end of the day, I was acquitted. After 1 year of being on trial for WhatsApp groups that I never circulated in the group.
One of the WhatsApp messages, just to maybe give the committee a sense of what the exchange was about, because I believe it's not available to everybody. But one of the messages was addressed to Brigadier Nale. And in the message, it's written, this message is dated Wednesday, the 6th of January. I take it was 2021. And it's written, evening, Brigadier, how are you? Good evening, I'm well. I'm well under the dangerous corona conditions. And it says here, it's Patricia Mashale here. I'm going to go straight to the point. I know General Lucia and his cronies are hell-bent to get rid of you by all means, regardless of what the facts state, but I can give you more than enough ammunition to fight back and expose how biased they are when it comes to certain officials. Thank you. I'm not aware of anything. It seems that his response is to you in Sotho, and he's thinking and he says he's not aware of anything. And you then proceed on the next page to say, I just thought that you should know what's going on. I don't really understand what you, because he responded in Sotho, you raised an issue with the language barrier. But yes, so the WhatsApp exchange seems to suggest that you had a lot of ammunition against General Lucia, and you were willing to assist General Nale to use it against General Lucia. And there were affidavits by other people who confirmed that you did in fact write these WhatsApp messages.
Yes, that one was a direct WhatsApp messages to Brigadier Nale, who was a brigadier and one of the section heads in legal services. And the reason why I reported that to Brigadier Nale, because they wanted to dismiss him based on the loss of his firearm. In some incident, he lost his firearm. I think the firearm was stolen from his vehicle. And then they charged him for negligence. And then there was an investigation. And the first investigation, the outcome of the first investigation was there was no negligence. And there was a second investigation. And the outcome of the second investigation was there was no negligence. Now, the second person who investigated was my commander, Colonel Barnard. On this day, Colonel Barnard is in my office reporting to Colonel Lewis, who is the overall commander. And Colonel Barnard said, Colonel Lewis, I have a problem. Brigadier Mkhwanazi, who was the provincial head of visible policing, wants me to charge Brigadier Nhlanhla for negligence. And I could not find any negligence in the loss of his firearm. But she said that she doesn't care. She doesn't care because the general wants Brigadier Nhlanhla to be dismissed. It was me, it was Colonel Barnard and Colonel in the office. While they were speaking, Brigadier Mkhwanazi came. She was standing in the door, she was telling Colonel Barnard, did you do what I told you to do? Colonel Barnard said, Brigadier, I'm actually just discussing it now with the colonel. And she called him, said, come to my office. And he goes. Later in the day, I was in the bathroom. And then I hear Brigadier Mkhwanazi's voice in the next cubicle. And she was receiving a call. And she was, yes, General, I did tell Colonel Barnard that he must make sure that he get a guilty finding, a negligence finding against him. She went again and she said, I told him that you are very angry. That's when I decided, I went to Colonel Lewis. I said, Colonel Lewis, this is what I just heard. What must I do? Colonel Lewis said, Patricia, you must decide what you are going to do because an innocent man is going to be dismissed and 2 reports found that he was not negligent. That's how I contacted Brigadier Nhlanhla and said, Brigadier Nhlanhla, I just wanted to report this to you. I even went further to say, request the 2 reports, the 2 investigation reports that found that you were not negligent. As a result thereof, Brigadier Nhlanhla was not dismissed.
Okay. This is also the same incident that caused the seizure of your cell phones. And in your statement, you refer to your cell phones being seized by the police as part of the protection order, but you consider that to have been unlawful. And that's why you, in relation to this particular matter, also called on the assistance of Mary Dahas, who have written several communication or several letters to the NDPP to try and get General Isia prosecuted, but the NDPP declined.
It was unlawful. When Colonel Panamerva came to my office, he was in possession of a warning statement and a search and seizure warrant. Before he could say, because when he came in my office, I was in my office with my commander. He chased my commander out of the office. There were 3 of them. Closed the door and he instructed me to say, I want your phone. He already had the evidence bag open, where he said I must put my phone in the evidence bag. I told him, I said, oh, why do you want my phone? Because I'm not charged with anything. He said to me, General Lysia instructed me to come and seize your phone. I asked him, I said, before you seize my phone, can I please call my lawyer? He said to me, no, you will call your lawyer later. I said, but my numbers are saved on my phone. While I was talking, my phone was ringing. And when I attempted to answer the phone, the armed constable was standing next to me, twisted my arm, and she forced my phone out of my arm. That's how she took my phone. At that moment, there were 3 in the office. The other one was blocking the entrance, Captain Kutsia.
They took my phone, and now Colonel Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi say, I want to take your warning statement after taking my phone. I told Colonel Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, I don't know what are you charging me with. You refuse me to call my lawyer. Can you at least call my commander so that he can be a witness as to what is currently happening in this office? That is how they called Colonel Lewis. So he also wanted me to force me to sign the warning statement and to participate in taking down the warning statement. And I told him, this entire procedure is unlawful. I don't have legal representation. I'm not going to participate. You can write there. I'm not participating. After he left with my phone, that's where I saw the search and seizure warrant. If you have it there, you can see on top of the search and seizure warrant, something have been scratched out with a marking pen. And I saw the search and seizure warrant was signed by a magistrate Marks at a Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. But when I took that page and I hold it like this, I saw that under that marking pen was a Kroonstad case. That immediately told me that if Magistrate Marks signed this, is unlawful because it's out of her jurisdiction. She's in Bloemfontein. She cannot sign a search and seizure warrant for Kroonstad. And I don't know anything about the Kroonstad case because my case was a Park Road case. I immediately went to I asked my commander because I was rattled. It was past 11 in the morning, 14 October 2021. I'll never forget it. I went to the magistrate's court, to the senior magistrate. I gave him the search and seizure warrant. I say, I just want to check. Magistrate Marks signed this. I want you to check for me whether the documents are the same because mine are scratched out on top. Senior Magistrate Saliwe went to Magistrate Marks' office. He was there for a while. I came back. He said, your suspicions is confirmed. When Magistrate Marks signed this, she signed it based on that Kroonstad case, not based on the Park Road case.
So you're disputing the validity of the seizure warrant that was granted against you, and you also think that the NDPP was incorrect not to prosecute because their response to the correspondence that was addressed to them by Mr. Haas is that there are no reasonable prospects of successful prosecution. The allegations are based on the same set of facts and allegations as in Park Road case, and there are two other case numbers mentioned. And then it says that the matter has a long and convoluted history. The current allegations are without merit. Did you dispute?
I'm still disputing it. I'm coming to that. After Magistrate Saliwe told me that this is fraud that has been committed, and Colonel Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi even admitted in court when the magistrate asked him during my trial that he did commit fraud. He did mislead the magistrate. I didn't know it then, but then I went to the police station. I opened a case against Colonel Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who said General Isia sent him to seize my phone. My case was open at Park Road. The next day, I got information that General Isia took the docket, the same docket that I opened at Park Road. He took that docket and he took it to the DPP. That docket was not even allocated to a investigation officer yet. He took the docket himself. He took the docket to the DPP, and the DPP declined with that letter. DPP declined to investigate because she said there was no prospects.
I take it that's why you left it.
I attempted to open more dockets, but then one of the senior prosecutors, there was a voice note. I will try to find that voice note. Told my husband to say the DPP said, gave us instructions that all dockets that are being opened by Patricia Mashale must be taken straight to her office. They must not handle those dockets. Those dockers must go straight to her office, and when the dockers reach her office, she declines to prosecute. I cannot even open cases in Bloemfontein or Free State anymore because DPP is not prosecuting my cases. Even if it's a personal matter where my daughter was attacked by a member of crime intelligence, we opened a case, there were video footage. The DPP declined to prosecute.
Now, the other issue that came to light, or rather further evidence that was given by General Khumalo in relation to you, was your disciplinary proceedings. He's produced during his evidence documents of an information note, which is part of the exhibit bundle, which speaks to the circumstances under which you were dismissed from the police. Now, in your statement in paragraph 3.6 and 3.7, you allege that your dismissal was unlawful and it was unfair.
Yes.
But from the documents that we've received during General Khumalo's testimony, was that what in fact happened was that you walked out of the disciplinary hearing and that you were then subsequently dismissed by operation of law because you failed to reconvene. Do you have anything to say to
Yes,
that?
I can respond on that. So, on the first day when we arrived at the hearing, Brigadier Mkhwanazi, he was demoted to a brigadier, from a major general to a brigadier, as the result of me reporting the unlawfulness of his promotion. There was already an arbitration award against him that he was promoted unlawfully. And that arbitration award was supposed to have been implemented in 2020 already. General Sithole just simply ignored that arbitration award until I opened the case with IPIT to say that the arbitration award is clear. Major General Mkhwanazi has been demoted, but he's still not demoted. And shortly after that, while IPIT then started with the investigations, they contacted General Sithole, and as a result thereof, Mkhwanazi was demoted to a brigadier. I was the complainant in that matter. So the first day I arrived at the hearing, Brigadier Mkhwanazi is the presiding officer. There's a conflict. Me and my representative request him to recuse himself from the proceedings. And I even stated the same case that I opened against him, the complaint whereby, as a result of that complaint, he was demoted. He said I must go to IPIT and I must go get evidence that I was the complainant in that matter. I went to IPIT the same day. We reconvened the next day. The next day I came with the evidence. Here's the evidence, I was the complainant in the matter. He told me that this is still not enough reason for him to recuse himself from this matter. Then we told him we are going to go to Major General Singh to get a day to reconvene this matter, because we cannot be part of a process where the presiding officer is conflicted. Me and my representative went across the street because the General Singh's office is just across the street. When we arrived there, the security guard informed me that there's instructions from the same General Singh that I'm not allowed to enter the building. So now my representative said, can I please speak to General Singh on the phone? Since now we want to make an application to reconvene with a new presiding officer, but now we are not allowed in the building. Eventually, General Singh spoke to the security guard and said, no, my representative can go to his office. I was not allowed to enter the building, my workplace. So the representative went up to General Singh. He made his arrangements. They came back and he said, General Singh said, you will not wait for 10 days. You will reconvene within 5 days. We will get the notice to reconvene. After 10 days, I received a note, not even received because no one even informed me. I just saw that my salary was terminated. And when I did inquiries, I was told that no, your dismissal letter is lying here at the office. We forgot to tell you that you were dismissed.
Why doesn't your statement reflect any of this information? Because if one reads your statement, it appears the initial hearing date or your attendance to that disciplinary hearing is not apparent from your statement. And it seems that everything came to you as a surprise. In fact, you mentioned in your statement that on 15 February, you went to the South African Human Rights Commission and you issued a letter that you are supposed to be.
This is another matter that I'm
sorry.
This is the first departmental matter that I'm referring to. There was two. I was dismissed on the second one. The first one was stopped by the presiding officer due to the intervention of the Human Rights Commission.
Where is that?
There's one that I talk here about on 15 January 2022.
Yes.
This is the first one, the one where I was charged because I made a protected disclosures by General Sia.
But by this time you already dismissed. Wasn't your hearing on the 1st of January 2022?
There was two departmental trials.
Yeah.
The one that I'm referring to, where the Human Rights Commission intervened, is the one of the protected disclosures, January 2021 protected disclosures. That is the one where I made an application to the SSBC under the Protected Disclosure Act, and they declined my application, and then I went to the Human Rights Commission. The Human Rights Commission did the intervention.
So, and we will get to that because that is part of this bundle.
Mm-hmm.
In your statement, like I said, there's no indication of what happened in January, the first disciplinary hearing that took place, and that you walked out and that you failed to reconvene. None of that is apparent here. But what we do see from your statement is that on the 15th of February 2022, which happens to be the date after your dismissal, you went to the South African Human Rights Commission, and you say here that they've issued a letter that you've complied with the protected disclosures. Despite this, SAPS refused to formally recognize your status as a whistleblower.
The reason for that is exactly because I'm responding to what General Khumalo's alleged, that I walked out and I didn't reconvene. You asked me, you say General Khumalo's alleged. That's why I didn't even state it here. That was the allegation that was made by General Khumalo, and I'm responding to that allegation.
But this is your statement that you've prepared before anything else alone.
Even because I was not going to, this is what happened to me. I was not going to respond in my statement to all the allegations or all the mentions of my name in this ad hoc committee. I told myself, when you are going to ask me that, because I knew you are going to ask me that is when I was going to respond to that. I told myself, I'm not going to respond to that in my affidavit, but I will respond when you ask me. There's ends. I didn't even insert it there because the same thing with a dismissal from Department of Health. It's not in here. I'm responding to the allegations that they made against me.
Okay. No, the reason why I'm asking you these things and why it's not apparent from your statement, it is because in your statement itself, you alleged that your dismissal was unlawful, it was unfair. Now, I mentioned to you that some crucial information is missing in relation to how you were dismissed, and that you were in fact afforded a hearing, which you walked out of, and that you failed to then reconvene in terms of the regulations. So I'm asking, I'm saying if one reads your statement, it would appear that you were never given an opportunity to state your case. Also, it would appear that by the time you've approached the Human Rights Commission, you were still under the employment of SAPS, which was not the case. You were already dismissed at that time when you went to the Human Rights Commission.
Hence, I'm saying, I'm responding to the allegation that General Khumalo did to say that when I approached the Human Rights Commission, I was still an active member on the South African Police Service system, and I have evidence. I was an active member until 2023. After I was the one who made inquiries to ask, why, if I have been dismissed in February 2022, is my personal number still active on the South African Police Service? Coming to the issue of being a whistleblower, you don't have to be employed to be a whistleblower. You must be employed to make protected disclosures. And that is the law that we are trying to change, because it's not just people who are employed who want to make protected disclosures. But to be a whistleblower, you don't need an employer, because whistleblowing is for everyone. So you say that I went to the Human Rights Commission to tell them, I made protected disclosure, say that I'm a whistleblower. I'm still a whistleblower.
Mine was just to ask clarity, and my reference to you visiting the South African Human Rights Commission is really based on what you've stated on your statement. And I've mentioned to you the difficulties that one sees if you read your statement. There appears to be some material information that have been omitted from your statement. Also, in your statement, you seem to suggest that the Human Rights Commission has confirmed a status to you of a whistleblower, but it does, rather, if you look at the letter that the Human Rights Commission then wrote after you've approached them in March, the Human Rights Commission wrote to SAPS and to inquire whether you were in fact treated poorly because of the fact that you are a whistleblower. It doesn't seem that they confirmed.
There's two letters of the Human Rights Commission. Okay, let me tell you, what did the Human Rights Commission confirm? The Human Rights Commission confirmed that I indeed made protected disclosures.
Can you refer us to that letter where you are confirmed to have made protected disclosures?
There's two letters here. One there. Because in this one, you can see this, I don't know.
If you look at the one dated 1st March 2022, in the very first paragraph, it says that the South African Human Rights Commission confirms that it is in receipt of a complaint alleging occupational detriment in terms of the Protected Disclosures Act, and it made queries in relation to that. I could not see a letter that confirmed your status as you allege in your statement.
I think it's one of the documents that I should email to you because I don't see it here. But can you maybe just read further on that one that you read now?
So the paragraph 2 and 3 basically sets out the mandate of the Human Rights Commission, and then it proceeds in paragraph 5 to say that the commission received a complaint from Ms. Mashale, who is employed as an administrator in the office of the Provincial Commissioner. And then it says, in your complaint, you allege that you were being subjected to disciplinary proceedings, which are called or rescheduled at short notice. And then it just continues to say that you allege that you've been subjected to harassment and intimidation, and she fears for her safety. And the complainant further alleges that her rights to privacy and to the protection of her personal information has been compromised, in that your phone was confiscated, your email has been hacked, and so it goes on. And then it proceeds to basically then request information from SAPS,
Now,
which SAPS
there's
did
another
respond
one.
to.
There's a second one.
What is the date of that one?
15 February 2022. There's a second one dated 15 February 2022. That one was when they requested information from SAPS. That one that you just read.
You say in your statement you went to the South African Human Rights Commission on 15 February.
Yes.
On 1st March, they then, after your visit on 15 February, addressed a letter to SAPS when they
Yes.
requested information.
I'm speaking about the 15 February one, not the 1st March. The 1st March was the further one where they requested the information from SAPS and all the other investigation authorities where I reported all the corruption to. But they already issued a letter on 15 March to that effect. On 15 February, not 15 March. I can send it to you. It's on my phone. Because I don't see it here.
Okay. Yes, so all of this was really also in relation to the lawfulness of your dismissal. We've received an information note that indicates the circumstances, and the SAPS also reported this the same way General Khumalo related to the committee, that you were dismissed following your walkout. You were there with your representative, you walked out. So in which respect was your dismissal then unlawful?
Regulation 9. Advocate Mkhwanazi was last week talking about the unlawfulness and the unconstitutionality of Regulation 9. I was charged under Regulation 9 for that minor offense. And with the Regulation 9 in SAPS, everyone knows that you are not giving the opportunity to defend yourself. This is just a meeting where you are anyway going to be informed that you are dismissed. You are not being given the opportunity to call witnesses. They brought charges against you. They take their own charges as true, and they dismiss you based on those charges without affording you the opportunity to defend yourself. So the unlawfulness of this is I was anyway not even going to be afforded the opportunity to defend myself in that hearing.
You take the matter further?
I took the matter to SSBC, but currently the matter is also the Human Rights Commission because of the fact that the Human Rights Commission see it that I was dismissed because I made protected disclosures. So currently the status is the matter is with the Human Rights Commission.
The status of your employment dispute?
The status of my employment dispute was never referred by SSBC. I found out about 2 weeks ago that SSBC has not been operating for the past 3 years because their operating license expired. So all the files of SAPS have been referred to the CCMI. So my file was never even handled, and I'm not the only one. There's thousands and thousands of members who are waiting for the past 3, 4, 5 years for dates from the SSBC. Most of them don't know that SSBC doesn't operate anymore.
And you obviously would have noted that during the Minister Mkhwanazi's evidence, your name came up as one of the complainants, together with Mr. Haas, that he considered your complaints when he took the decision to disband the PKTT. Just your relationship with Mr. Haas. I mean, you in Bloemfontein, she is in KwaZulu-Natal. Do you belong to a same group, or what is your relationship with her? Is there an organization that you belong to?
It's not an organization, but is a whistleblower WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Even the brother of Babita Dioguran is in that WhatsApp group. This WhatsApp group was formed by whistleblowers for whistleblowers, because we are going through the same trauma, we are going through the same challenges. So, referring to Professor Haas, when, or I say Ms. Haas, Ms. Haas, she was the one who believed me when everyone else called me a information peddler. She was the one who stood by me when everyone else say I must be jailed because I'm exposing corruption. And I didn't even know her by the time, because as I say, we are all in this whistleblower WhatsApp group, and each and every whistleblower in that group are getting support for her. There is Athol Williams, who also fled the country. There is Cynthia Stimple, who was the whistleblower from SSA. There is, there's a lot of the National Lottery whistleblowers. Almost all the whistleblowers are in that group, and we are supporting one another. And we have your John Clarks, who are social workers, Merida is a social worker. We have these kind of people. We are supporting one another morally, and we are believing in one another when no one else believes us. There's can I say, the relationship that we have as whistleblowers with them.
We were also shown a WhatsApp message by General Khumalo, which is probably from the group, and you would confirm. It's from it's a WhatsApp exchange of, I don't know, and you invite you to confirm whether this is from your WhatsApp group, where General Khumalo was saying in his testimony that you were not very generous with the truth. And because in your exchange, WhatsApp exchange, you indicate that there was a Mr. Khumalo that's brothers with General Khumalo, which he came to this committee to say it's not true.
I have 4 WhatsApp groups.
Okay.
2 of the dismissed members, of which in each group is 200 and something, 300, and then there's the reservists and the trainees who are employees of SAPS, but who have never actually been employed by SAPS. We share WhatsApp messages on a daily basis. And yes, there was a conversation that General Khumalo have a brother in the PKTT. There was a conversation. And someone asked for confirmation. Is it indeed his brother? And we never got that confirmation. General Khumalo also, when he was here, he also never confirmed where. He only said that, I don't have a brother who is a captain in the police. He didn't say, I don't have a brother in the police. So that information was never confirmed. It is information that I shared in our groups, and I saw that message, but that information was actually never confirmed whether he does have a brother or not.
So you still hold the view that it's possible that he might have a brother who's a
He
captain?
might have a brother. He might have a brother who's not a captain because he said he doesn't have a brother who's a captain. So he might have a brother, but he's not a captain. But because the issue was the brother is a captain. So he said he doesn't have a brother who's a captain in SAPS. That's how he responded.
We must conclude the presentation by 14 hours.
So the question was put to Mary de Haas when she was here in front of the committee about the complaint that she made to the minister about the PKTT, and she seems surprised that the minister relied on her complaint when he made the decision. Now you've heard during the minister's evidence that he took your complaint into consideration. What is your view? Were you also taken aback that he considered gave your complaint such serious consideration?
I never submitted a complaint to the minister.
Well, he saw a complaint on Facebook.
I share information on Facebook, but I never submitted a complaint. What I shared on Facebook was relating to the Sindiso Makaka case. That is one case that is very close to my heart, whereby I referred people to Mr. Nkabinde, people who had information about the Sindiso Makaka case. I referred them to Mr. Nkabinde. And the reason why is that the hitman who shot Sindiso Makaka sent a message through another person to me to say, I must please assist him because he wants to make a confession and plead guilty, but he's not getting assistance from the commander of from the investigation officer. He's not getting assistance from the prosecutor. He have been trying to plead guilty since 2019, but he's not getting any joy. I must please assist him. As a result thereof, I sent a message to Cedric Nkabinde and to Honorable Fadil Adams. Honorable Fadil Adams traveled to KZN, to the prison. He got a statement. The hitman did inform him to say they don't want to allow me to plead guilty. And the lawyer that they are using, they are paying the lawyer. The lawyer also don't want to allow me. Can you please assist me to get another lawyer? Because I want to plead guilty. I want my trial to be separated from the trial of my co-accused. I was almost poisoned. These people want to kill me. As a result thereof, Mary de Haas and other people arranged some donations. I even have a letter to that effect to pay for the lawyer to represent the hitman, and that is how he managed to go to court, get his trial separated, made a confession, plead guilty. But then also after that, he told me, say, my lawyer refused me to stand up in court so that I can name the people who ordered the hit on Sindiso Makaka. He said, I am still not done. And I have WhatsApps between me and the lawyer, where the lawyer told me to say, no. He is going to stand up in court. He is going to name the kingpins. After that, I asked the lawyer, but you said, the lawyer said, no. That is the best I could do. Another lawyer told me, said, the lawyer was afraid because someone threatened him to say, he should not allow the hitman to stand up and name the kingpin behind the murder of Sindiso Makaka. I have everything's on my phone. I can give my phone, you download everything. Everything is there.
He mentioned to you who the kingpin was that ordered the hit.
The hitman didn't mention it to me. He wants to say it himself. He wants to talk himself. He wants to be given an opportunity to name them himself.
In closing, Ms. Mashale, I tried to take you through your statement, and I know it was a bit of a rush procedure. So if there's anything in your statement that you'd like to bring to the attention of the committee before they proceed with questioning.
not in my statement, but on the presentation that you never gave to me. There's a few things that I also, very important, urgent things that I also need to bring under that day. If I don't do that, I would not have done justice to what I'm here for today.
Can you do it without the presentation, or would you really like a copy?
I can do it without a presentation because it's just a few cases that I want to mention. One of the cases that was mentioned here relating to Paul O'Sullivan is the Jacob Nare case.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. When General Mkhwanazi said that there are corruption in the NPA, in the judiciary, he was right. And I have evidence of that. Especially there in Free State. There is a person called Mr. Zwelinzima Joseph Muru. He has been in detention since 1999 for stock theft. He was only 18 years old when he was arrested. He was supposed to have been released in 2012, but currently since 2012 until now, they have been keeping him unlawfully in detention with false detention warrants. And the reason for that is, when Mr. Nguru was arrested, it was because of a murder that was committed by a farmer in Tienazan. A farm worker was killed. Mr. Nguru, it was in 1997. Mr. Nguru was 16 years at age. They took him along. They say he must drive the van, and this body of the farm worker was dumped in a sewage dam by farmers and police officers. You have all the names, there's cases, there's names, there's everything. They dumped this body in Tienazan in a sewage farm. The next day, he went to the police station and he reported this matter. The same police officers who was part of this crime told him that they will take care of him for the rest of his life and they will take care of his mother if he doesn't talk about this crime. From that moment on, each and every one of them was part of that, including the prosecutors who covered up this crime, correctional services heads who covered up this crime. Each and every one of them paid him a certain amount of money. And his mother was paid 5,000 rand per month. 1998, they arrested him for stock theft. And he was sentenced to 15 years, to 12 years in jail. He was to be released in 2012. He was never released. While he was in prison, they started to use him as a hitman to kill witnesses. The witnesses who was killed in the Vrede Farm corruption, Mr. Nguru exposed the firearms in the hitmen who killed those witnesses. The lady who was working for Mangaung Metro, whose body was found in the boot of a car in 2019 at the basement parking of the Mangaung Metro, Ms. Sipati Lichwana, was killed by the same hitman who killed the Vrede Farm witnesses. Mr. Nguru have implicated former Premier Ace Magashule. He have implicated the now retired General Mutsunyane. He have implicated the current Deputy
Provincial Commissioner of Detectives, General Mudise. You have implicated General Lisia. You have implicated the current DPP, Advocate Somaru. You have implicated the Deputy Advocate Matluku. And you have implicated Mr. Harrington, whose father was the one who killed the farm worker, who's now the prosecutor, who's now prosecuting on these fresh cases of Mr. Nguru, where they allege Mr. Nguru stole cattle while he was in detention. I have evidence of everything. But most importantly is a case have been opened. I have informed the NPA about this in August last year. They have never, I've informed the former inspecting judge, Judge Edwin Cameron. I have informed the Minister of Justice. I have informed the current new NPA at now, because Mr. Nguru have evidence, his lawyer have a trust account where all the money was deposited in of the people who paid him for his silence. They went to him and told him that the only way they're going to release him from prison is when he's going to sign an affidavit and not implicate them. A lot of people died. 2 firearms that have already been located on the information of Mr. Nguru, as well as the laptop of Ms. Sipati was found in the boot of a car. I have been exposing this information on Facebook, and as a result thereof, the DPP of Free State opened a case of criminal injury against me. The police is looking for me. They want to arrest me on that. There's not a problem. And I really want to urge the committee. Mr. Nguru are being kept in CMAX. He's been moved from prison to he's now in Sonderwater. Last time they tried to poison him, but we have all the evidence. The evidence have been handed over to the NPA. I have handed it over now to Advocate Mtibi. The police have the evidence, military intelligence have the evidence. What we need is for Parliament to look into this matter. Mr. Nguru is implicated himself. He said he's not afraid to be charged for the crimes that he committed, but he wants all these people who are implicated in these crimes also to be held accountable because people lost their lives. He told us about people who were fed to lions. Black people were killed by farmers and their bodies were fed to lions. He knows grave sites where people have been buried. He's prepared to go and point out everything, everywhere that he knows about. He have a lot of information. That is one of the matters that I felt I want to talk about. The other one is I have a message, and I sent two voice recordings to Mr. Ramano from Mr. Sifiso Miwa relating to the Senzo Miwa case. And he asked me to request the committee to please play those voice notes, because in one of the voice recordings is his cousin with Advocate Chauke, who's now in the Nkabinde inquiry, where Advocate Chauke in 2019 admitted that the NPA doesn't believe that the people who are currently on trial for the Senzo Miwa murder is the right people. It would be better if that recording can be played with the recording of Sifiso Miwa. Then there's the issue of Ntate George Mbatu, who is staying in Klerksdorp. Ntate Mbatu was suspended, he was charged or plotted, can I say, in 1991. He was suspended in 1991 from the South African Police Service. He was charged. He was detained in Stilfontein Correctional Services. and his pension have been stolen. Since 1991 up until now, he's still suspended. There's no records that he was ever brought before disciplinary hearing or dismissed. He went to the police station to get information about a case number on which he was charged. There's no records of that case number. He inquired from the Minister of Correctional Services on the prison number that he was detained with. The Minister responded in writing that there is no records of that prison number on the database of Correctional Services. There's a letter. And Mbatu was in his early 30s when he was suspended. He's now in his middle 60s. He have suffered. He have lost everything. All his children are dead. His wife left him. He's suffering. And SAPS refuse to assist him. I know that currently GPAA is investigating the unlawful withdrawal of his pension because no one knows how his pension was withdrawn. And Mbatu asked me, please ask the members of parliament to assist me. I don't want to die not knowing what is going to happen with my grandchildren. Mbatu is the father. His son is one of the people who died in that incident, the soccer, where there was people trampled upon one another, and his son was one of the people who died.
In a stampede. Is it a stampede?
And yes, chairperson. In the stampede, and he is now the one who's testifying in the. There's a hearing of Boyki, yes. Ntate Mbatu is the main witness in that hearing. And then, what is the last one? So, relating to the corruption of the Free State Management, the NPA, there is evidence. It's not just allegations, because if it was allegations, the DPP would not have opened a criminal injury case against me. She would have filed a defamation suit. But as I said, there's evidence, and Mr. Jacob Nare. Mr. Jacob Nare is dead. He was murdered. But now currently we have someone called Mr. Jacob Nare as a Section 204 witness for Brigadier Gininda. That person is an undocumented Zimbabwean citizen. The one who is now called Jacob Nare. I spoke to the brother of Mr. Jacob Nare, Mr. Pete Nare. He said, please ask Parliament. We have been everywhere. Our brother's death was never registered on the database of Home Affairs. There was an investigation by the police and they found it. There's a witness of Brigadier Gininda. Even have outstanding cases, and he's going by several names. He's the Section 204 witness in the Radovan Krejcik case.